already been through it, and this is on.
Very much for us, reflection.
No, she removed it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular scheduled Egg Harbor City Council meeting for April 25th, 2024. Call to order. This meeting has been properly advertised and posted in accordance with Public Law 75, Chapter 231. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Jim Petty.
Here.
Atenisi. Here. Clark. Here. Dash.
Here.
Galloway.
I'm here.
Heist. Here. Hesse.
Here.
Timbers.
Here.
Wright.
He's at the draft.
Ritchie.
Here.
So he's gone.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes from April 11th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public have any comments on the agenda items? Going once, twice, all right. So at this time, in our presence, we have Senator Tiber from our district to give us a legislative update. Senator, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor, and Committee. I'd like to thank you for having me tonight. Just basically, since you're one of the newer towns in our district, when we redistricted, I'm going to every town. And introducing myself, I'm one of the new guys, and just want to let you know that I'm here to help. Anything that we can do for you, as far as navigating the state circus, I guess we'll call it. A lot of phone calls we're getting is unemployment. That's a big issue right now. Anchor checks, it's another big one. So anything that you have an issue with that you need help with, feel free to call. I'll leave you my card and some brochures. And proclamations. If there's something good that's going on in your town, baseball team wins a championship, a resident does something good or something, let us know. We'll be more than happy to get you a proclamation from the state and come down and present it. What else do we have? What else do we have, Marilyn? This is Marilyn, I'm sorry, she's one of our staffers in the district office. What are some of the other big issues we have that you're getting called on? Well, stuff that you're getting called on.
Disability.
Yeah, that's another big one.
Family bonding. Pretty much any issue you have with the State Department, reach out to us. We have liaison with every department, so, grants. We'll
That was the other
notify
thing.
too, if you get any grants, the schools or the township, the fire department.
I was gonna hit all that.
Yeah,
So if you guys are filling out grants, any departments fill out grants, let us know. We'd be more than happy to fill out a letter of support so that you can attach that to your grant and help you out. That's pretty much my, like I said, if you need us for anything, please don't hesitate to call. We're more than happy to help.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
There's been some things brought to my attention about the cannabis, which apparently there's some sort of a Delta 8 and 9, which are almost as much THC, if not more, than what they sell at the dispensaries. So the people that own the dispensaries are a little bit miffed about the fact that these other places do not have to buy a license to sell this. And they also are selling the same product, and yet the city's not making any money off of it. And they're taking business away from some of the dispensaries. Now, I was told that there is something in the works at the Senate level. Is that true? And what is it?
Not heard. You have heard anything about it? Gotten any phone calls on that?
It must be like very,
Okay,
Well,
yeah, but we can look into it.
okay.
And under our understanding, it was being sold to people under the age of 18 or 20,
Right.
21, that they can sell it to kids.
Okay.
Which was a big concern that we had.
yeah, well, think about it.
Okay, and I know that there's two resolutions now going around within the mayor's association, or not the mayor's association, but communities. One that totally bans the sale of it, and one that would incorporate a licensing process.
Okay.
And they feel as though the licensing process would be the best option because it has a better chance of survival, I guess, through the process of, being in the Senate. Yeah. So something to consider if you can bring it up or find an answer, I would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
All right, nice meeting everyone. We have some brochures and cards. Where's which you want?
Oh, I have, I'll
You got
come out.
it? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Senator, you're more than welcome to stay for,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
all right. Moving on to the mayor's report.
Okay, so we'll start off since I think we have everyone here. Chief's here. Is everybody here, Chief? Everybody else? Except for Lieutenant Colonel.
All right, yeah, he'll be here eventually.
Okay, so I'll go through my report then real quick, if you don't mind, and then maybe he'll come back. It's not too long. So, Cedar Creek reached out to me again this year for 10 badges for Senior Week. We did it last year. Just need council's approval to supply that to them at no cost.
Any opposition? No motion?
So motion.
Second. Roll call for that, please, Mike.
Antonisi? Yes. Clark? Yes. Dash?
Yes.
Galloway? Yes. Heist?
Yes.
Tessie?
Yeah.
Timbers?
Yes.
Right? Oh, Richie?
Yes.
Okay, and just real quick, I'm gonna go through this. Ryan and Nanette and I met with the DOT, which I told you about the last meeting. We did identify a good site for the Brownsfield redevelopment area, and I think it's something that you would all be happy about. And it is the property where the Acme is, that property there that is already
Surrounding area.
in the surrounding area, because it has to be sort of adjoining to those, you know. Well, I'm not gonna say that word because there's different perceptions as to what that actually means. So we'll just say they're connected, okay? So Ryan will talk more about that. That is due July 31st if we're going to pursue it, so we have to really hustle for that. I also had several discussions with the tower site, Jonathan Satcher, and we did hash out what he felt was important to put in the agreement of sale. I discussed it with Angela and Ryan, and we did come up with something which Angela will talk about this evening in her report. The lake update. I've hired, we have 14 life checkers, or lifeguards, 10 badge checkers, 10 maintenance people, 1 chief lifeguard, which is required now by the beach code, 1 supervisor, and 5 managers. So we're going good in that direction. Signs are ordered, paperwork, Public Works, we did a tour, and Keith knows what repairs and maintenance has to be done before we open. Uniforms are ordered, supplies are ordered, so we're on the right track with that.
Mayor, can I ask a question
Sure.
about that? The managers, are they also lifeguards or are they just managers?
They don't have to be. They're,
They're
some of them are,
Some of
yeah,
them
some of them
certified
are, yep.
lifeguards.
But they don't have to be because there'll always be a head lifeguard on with them.
Okay,
They're not there by themselves.
okay,
There's
Thank you.
always a support lifeguard, either a shift guard or a head lifeguard on duty.
thank
So
you.
that's not really an issue. Tomorrow I'll be attending a Arbor Day celebration in Camden tomorrow. Hopefully, we're gonna have some good news about a grant possibly, which I have not been notified of, but I was invited to this, so I'm guessing that we may get another $850,000 grant for training for Public Works employees and other employees to manage the trees, because we did get the $1 million grant for the trees just recently. So I'll keep you posted on that. The Mayor's Walk on Sunday went really well. We probably had about 20 people there, and our deputy Marie was there on the golf cart. And so it all turned out really well. We had a nice day. So far, I have 280 people scheduled for the cleanup day, which obviously is next Saturday, May 4th. If you would like to sign up to help or do something, please let me know before May 4th so I can plug you in wherever you would like to go. And the Memorial Day service is in the works. I've been working with Paul McIntyre, and it seems like we have a lot of participation this year. Cedar Creek student will be giving a essay, we'll read an essay, and the Sprague students will be once again making posters to decorate Lincoln Park. So it'll be at Lincoln Park this year, 10 o'clock. I believe that's the 27th. Peace Pilgrim Park is ready for the Arbor Day event tomorrow that Nanette will probably talk about in her report. And the greenhouse is officially cleaned out. And we do have a new person. Her name is Devaney Aponte. who will be helping out with the gardens at the senior center and hopefully at some point in time utilizing the greenhouse. As far as the coalition goes, they are going to be doing the butterfly garden that is in Peace Pilgrim Park. I met with Iola yesterday from the coalition, and she's going to get her group over there to weed it, and hopefully we'll be able to mulch that too. So with that information there, she did plan a community gardening day. I believe it's May 8th at 4 o'clock, but that information is on the official Facebook page. So if you'd like to show up and help clean up the garden area at Cincinnati Avenue, just show up. It's just that simple, 4 o'clock. And that's my report. So, okay. Are you ready? Okay. So without further ado, we have a whole bunch of police awards. Little late this year, right? Usually it's March or whatever, but that's okay. We have a lot. And with that, how do you want to do it? How do you want here? First, Tom. Okay, Erna could not be here this evening. There's this one.
So each year, the mayor tasks me with coming up with some information to kind of recognize officers who do go above and beyond in our department. We're a small department, but and everybody does work hard, but there are some officers who, do take that extra effort. So not discounting anything that they do on a daily basis or what anybody else does. But I'd like to present the 2023 Traffic Safety Officer of the Year to Patrolman Evan Smith, who led the department in traffic citations and DUIs in 2023 with 113 citations, 4 DUIs, and 1 DUI refusal. Evan, go on up. Great work. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let me get one.
Share the picture.
Did you get what she said?
Yes.
I got yelled at for her flat sheet.
Again, Officer Smith, he does so many car stops, much to the chagrin of many people in Egg Harbor City, but much to the happiness of other folks in Egg Harbor City. He will be attending, we're trying to get him into the DRE class. He's a little bit reluctant, but he does lead us with DUIs. He had 2 last week, 2 the week before, like one after the other.
My first few days, my first week of day.
Yeah, first week of day shift, he had 2. So he's back there, he's doing what he needs to do. So thank you, Officer Smith, for all of your hard work and congratulations. All right, so leading, what's that? Yes. Leading the department in arrests last year. Now, this is the source of the contention. What happens is we had one officer who came back. And he had quite a few arrests, but he did not eke out the other officer who did have arrests. So the Crime Stopping Award for the year with 72 arrests in 2023 is Officer Thomas White. So come on up, Tom. So Officer White has had many defendable arrests this last year, and this year is sure to be the same. He, the second person who had the most arrests after that was Patrolman Alex DeFeo. He was at 50 arrests, and Patrolman Rosenberger, I believe, or DeFeo may be at 51. Rosenberger was at 50. Now Rosenberger was only here for 6 months of the year, so you got that competition. But great work. Please continue the great work, and yeah.
Thanks.
Good, good.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, so, yeah, well, he's, yeah. So Actually, yes. Talking about. Yeah. Okay, no, that's okay, we'll work on that. So one of the things, that, one commendable arrest, which is something to show exactly what it is that these guys do on a daily basis. In terms of proactivity, we run tags, on vehicles, and we don't run them fully, but you know, they're just a tag to see whether there's a registered, the car's registered, anything like that. Officer Rosenberger ran a tag at one point in time, and it came back to a wanted person out of Georgia for rape and aggravated assault. He followed the car for a bit, but he could not find it. He continued to look, and at a call for service later on, he happened to see that vehicle. He and Officer White were able to locate the driver, confirm that the identity was that of the wanted person, place him under arrest. While they were arresting him, they were able to recover a firearm from that person. So this is the kind of work that these guys do. You know, they saw a car, they saw that it was somebody who had a warrant out for their arrest. They didn't just say, oh, we can't find it. They went out, they found it, and they got a gun off the street. So Mary Jane City doesn't have the things, the certificates for you, but that's a commendable arrest for the two of you. So that's that. So our next thing, yes, more to come. So the next ones we have are life-saving awards. So the first three officers, Sergeant Nick Mangold, Officer Matthew Rex, and Officer Jose Rodriguez, they were honored last week at the Atlantic County Firefighters Association with a Valor Award. Last March 7th, 2023, most of them were getting ready to go to the range. So they were in, you know, range gear, not full uniform, but kind of. We get a call for a structure fire with somebody carrying a knife. We arrived there, the house is smoking, it is engulfed in flames. These guys go up the stairs to find a mentally disabled woman who had set her bed on fire, and she is wielding a knife. She's not letting the knife go, she is not following commands, the house is on fire around her. These guys used all of their de-escalation tactics to no avail, and she would not come out. It was a situation where we had to keep the firefighters out, and they did because we could not have them going in with a knife wielding person. They stayed up there and they were able to get this woman out of the building despite the fire and the flames that were going up around them with minimal use of force, minimal injury to her from the actual extraction. She did have to go to the Temple Burn Unit, but that was absolutely a life-saving award, that life-saving effort that they absolutely took. And it is a testament to their patience, their willingness to, their bravery, just absolutely commendable activity for what could have been a tragedy, a horrible headline about how cops are shooting disabled people, that kind of stuff. But it would have absolutely been a case where lethal force may have been warranted. So Sergeant Mangold, Officer Rex, Officer Rodriguez, please come on up and accept your. I should make Officer Rex and Officer Rodriguez talk because this is the second time that they've been up here and they should be used to the limelight, but I'm not gonna do that. So hold those open so we can get a picture of you with the senator and the mayor. You're gonna face this. All right, again, thank you guys, you know, it's an honor to work with all of you every day, and you know, that morning was especially interesting. I have a picture of these guys afterwards, and they have like soot all over their faces, but they're all smiles, they look good stuff, so again, all right. Our last award for the night, and this is not for 2023, this is more recently, but on January 31st, 2024, at around 11:17 p.m. the police were dispatched to the area of Havana Avenue and Arago Street for a shooting. Sergeant Lancini was first on scene. He found a gentleman laying on the ground, bleeding profusely. At first, he wasn't able to tell where the blood was coming from. He went and grabbed his medical bag, started cutting clothing off and realized that he was injured. He had serious injuries to both his legs and multiple gunshot wounds in other areas of his body. He had the wherewithal to recognize that if he did not apply tourniquets, that this man would bleed out. Sergeant Lancini applied tourniquets to each of his legs, and the emergency room physicians did say that without those applications, that man would have died. The man is not fully out of recovery. He did sustain very, very bad injuries, but he's alive thanks to the efforts of Sergeant Matthew Lancini. So Matthew Lancini, please come up. You guys think so? Stop. Can I have everybody come on up this and paint a picture of all of us, so that way? All right, all you guys, come on. That's all. Right, right. Yeah. Mayor, you stand, you guys smooth. Come on, sir. Again, thank you guys for everything that you do all day, every day. I mean, two of these guys just came from, three of them just came from a call where somebody got cut in the face, you know? Yeah, so, you know, that's what we deal with, but they do a great job and we appreciate them. So thank you guys. Don't to say. And I'll be back.
You don't want to report, Mayor?
That's all, thank you.
Come back up, chief.
We're doing, officer report. I think one of these.
What are we doing? Oh, yeah.
No. So, it's only been 2 weeks, so, but we have been a little busy. Let me give you some numbers to start off with. Criminal crimes and offenses, we have 1 fraud case, 1 stolen motor vehicle, 3 thefts, with 9 motor vehicle accidents, 3 pedestrian stops, 27 traffic stops. 9 summonses were issued in total. We had 3 arrests, including 1 DUI. We had 12 business alarms, 5 residential alarms, 129 crime prevention activities, 5 domestics, 14 EMS incidents, 11 follow-ups, 374 property checks, 5 public service calls. And that's what we have for that. In terms of training, and no, we did have the inspection before. That was last time. We had 1 officer who did attend the undercover narcotics investigation training. He said that that was probably the best training that he's ever been to. Not, you know, you're boring, sit around, do nothing, not do nothing, but just listen. It was very interactive. It was long. It was grueling. Definitely got them out of their comfort zone. So, you know, he said he learned a whole lot. So we're looking for some good stuff from him. And 1 officer attended method of instruction, is attending methods of instruction. That is a necessary evil in the police world. If you ever want to instruct at the academy, it basically talks to you and teaches you lesson planning, makes you get up in front and do a 15-minute presentation, a 30-minute presentation. They critique you on it. A lot of people who have issues with public speaking hate that class. But if you want to do anything at the academy, be a firearms instructor at the academy, do defensive tactics, PT instruction and classroom instruction, you have to take that. So yeah, again, I mentioned that those officers who were mentioned earlier, Sergeant Mangold, Officers Rex and Rodriguez, along with Sergeant Mark Perno from Hamilton Township, who was also an integral part of that fire call on London Avenue last year. They were honored with Valor Awards by the Atlantic County Firefighters Association last week. And that's about all I have for you right now. I do have to tell you, Councilman Galloway, I did send you the email with the last year's totals for the Dropbox. Nina Shore from JTAC did drop off some medication dissolving bags and some more literature that we can give to you, so that you can pass those out at your Arbor
Can I
Days.
get them for the Arbor Day tomorrow?
Yes, that's where I was going with that. I was gonna make sure that you got those for that. Okay. Any questions, concerns? Fantastic.
That's
Thank you.
I know I skipped, committee reports, but I wanted the chief table, just to finish out. So I'm moving to council committee chair reports now. I have nothing for finance, redevelopment, code, or personnel, although I will be scheduling a code over the next week or so. So moving on, safety, Councilman Dash.
Safety meeting, we're gonna meet the second week of May. Vice Chair, Richie and I will send out an email, get a set date and time for everybody. That's all.
All right, Councilwoman Heist, Public Works.
I have nothing.
Councilwoman Antonisi, Property Parks, Playgrounds and School Board.
Nothing for school board, for property parks and playgrounds, we're gonna meet on Monday, I believe it's the 29th. For the RFP for the stand, we've only had one put in, so we're gonna meet with her and go over. This upcoming season rules, regulations, and make sure we're all on the same page. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Clark, license ordinance.
Nothing for license and ordinance. I did just send out an email circulating some dates for our next meeting. Because I know that there's some other ordinances that our fellow members wanted to address.
All right, thank you. Councilman Timbers, land use and Aaron Haven.
Nothing to read.
Meg, anything for Jeff?
I have nothing.
Councilwoman Hesse, Rotary.
The Rotary collected and delivered items to the Egg Harbor City March 1st fire victims as of this week. Last week and this week they delivered them. They actually collected it amongst them, again, amongst the Rotarians. And it was nice to be able to give them some of the items that they still needed. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Galloway, Sustainable.
Yes, well, tomorrow's our Arbor Day celebration in Peace Pilgrim Park. Saturday is Take Back Drugs Day too, so we're going to combine the two into one event. And we're asking people to bring their no longer wanted prescription drugs for disposal in the drop box that's in the police department. We're also going to be collecting eclipse glasses that people wore last week or 2 weeks ago when the eclipse was held. We're going to recycle them and send them to the library, who's going to be distributing them to other cities where they will be experiencing eclipses soon. We're also asking people to bring a non-perishable food item for the No One Hungry and EHC food pantry. We're going to have someone there selling starter plants for your garden. We'll have a raffle for a Doug Tallamy, who's a world-renowned environmentalist. One of his books is The Nature of Oak, so we're going to be raffling that off. We'll have some people from the utility companies there to talk about how you can save money on your utilities. We have our photo contest will be on display, the winners, and you'll get to vote on Best in Show. We'll be awarding prizes during that, and we got the winning photos framed for the submitters. We'll also have our arborist is going to be there, Jerry Barbario, and we're going to be giving away 15 free trees that we picked up last week. Thanks, Rick, for driving me up to the nursery. And we have wonderful trees. They're in 2 to 3 gallon pots. They're like 6, 7 feet tall, some of them. And they're all native trees and some good species for our town. So hope to see everybody at the Arbor Day celebration.
When does it start out?
3 to 6 p.m.
Anything else?
And that's it.
Thank you. Moving on, CFO report. Anything, Jen?
I just have like my year-end balances.
Okay.
So I'll just read our ending. Oh, actually, I can email out a copy, but our ending cash balance at the end of December was $10,961,713.22. I will give Meg an official copy. That's it.
Thank you. How was that compared to last year?
Much.
All right, well, Meg,
I have nothing.
all right, perfect. Angela, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Good. So I have a couple of things. First on your agenda, number 18, the mayor was kind enough to give me updates for the Lake Park ordinance. And so I made them basically hours of operation, provisions for children, alcohol, cannabis, etc. They're just updates, nothing new. Also for the redeveloper for the town site, Jonathan Sakar, something the mayor mentioned. Mr. Sakar, is taking some time at the Pinelands, so he's gonna need additional time to purchase those lots. The agreement of sale, will end April 30th, and so we have to do a first addendum to the agreement of sale. With the agreement of sale, however, he wants to buy some other lots if possible with a right of first refusal by the high school. He's had some discussions with Ryan about which particular lots he wants and blocks that he wants. And I will incorporate them into the agreement of sale, but I need approval by the council. So Ryan,
So I'll elaborate a little bit. We, in meeting with him and with all of our discussions sort of indicated that all of the Pinelands work, as we understood it, was completed. When he got up there and had a pre-application meeting, they said, well, all that stuff was submitted, we never got an application and we never reviewed it. Now it's more than 5 years old, so it's all has to be redone. So he ended up with a lot more than he anticipated. He had to do a snake study, he did a couple other things to go along with it. So that's what's all taking more time. He wanted some assurance to say, look, I'll give you a non-refundable deposit, but if things go sideways and Pinelands tells me I can't do anything with this tower site, I would like for that deposit to be transferable to the residential development. And I would like to have the right of first refusal to at least a portion of the residential development or by the high school that they go to Cedar Creek. So in my initial discussion with him, I understood that he wanted, he had an interest in the portion directly across Moss Mill from his project. So between the front of the high school and Moss Mill, down from just south of the cemetery to about where the wetlands are around Goat Street, where that sort of splits off. In further discussion with him later, he said, well, I'd be interested in the whole thing. He said, if I was going to take it on, I would like to do the Pinelands work and do everything all at one time to, sort of redesign the existing portions of the neighborhood of Cedar Creek, down along Kessler and Lessing and Liebig, from Liverpool to Philadelphia Avenue, stretch around Kent Street and just a dirt road that goes along the back edge of the high school, and then New York Avenue and leads back up to the front. So that's the entirety of the project. So he said he would really have an interest in the whole thing. In my initial discussion with the development committee and the mayor, I had only indicated that front portion is what he was interested in based on our prior discussions. So if you guys are comfortable with just giving him the front portion and you want to sort of pull the rest of it back, you can do that. If you're so inclined to include, again, it's just a right of first refusal. It's not anything else. It's not a price. It's not any negotiation. It's something like that. So if you want to include that for the entirety of the project, that would be his preference. But he said, look, if you're not comfortable with that, I get it. It's fine. It's okay. If you want to just do the preference for now, that's okay. So it's really just up to council how you want to, approach that.
so along with that, there'll be 3 changes in the agreement of sale. The first is he will pay $62,000, which is 20% of the 310. And that's a non-refundable amount of money that we will get now, hopefully. He also wants the right of first refusal for either a portion of those blocks or the entire stretch of blocks, which I have to delineate, which is why we're having this discussion. And the second is he wants to close 45 days after he gets his certificate of filing. However, this whole thing will sunset October 31st. So if he doesn't get his act together, I think that gives him sufficient amount of time to get the certificate, close on these properties and move.
It's October
Done.
31st.
October 31st. If it doesn't, then, you'll hear me again to tell you what's going on. But we'll keep you updated on the certificate of filing as well.
Just, yeah, as a reminder, how many lots are we talking about in that front section and then all of it together?
Well, the blocks,
Well, the entire development is like 200 and something homes, 240 potentially. Some of it would need to be reconfigured, storm management rules changed. The front portion was 70 to 80 plus or minus. It's a pretty significant chunk, but it's probably 12 to 15 city blocks that are somewhat developable. So it's, you know, it's a good sized portion of land, but again, that front portion is probably a third, maybe a little more than a third of the remaining overall.
And those lots are high and dry or
Yeah,
wetlands
Their
or?
upland area, all the wetlands was delineated in that area for the high school construction. So we have, you know, good records of where the wetlands lines are. There was a concept plan that an engineer working for DR Horton at the time in 2018 put together. That showed, you know, how that could all be laid out. So, you know, we've had that to our benefit to say like, look, we've had this area delineated, but here's like the concept of what you could do in this area. So that's, you know, that's sort of what the understanding that we're working off of is that concept.
And the size of those lots that were delineated?
I think they were 80 by 150, which is the size of the current, it might have been 75. It's 9,000 square foot.
Ryan, how many, did you say already how many? Homes there might be?
The front portion by itself would be 70 to 80. And then the entirety is like 220 to 230.
220 to 230 homes.
Potential, yeah,
Potential.
there's a lot of sorting out to do. There's currently another 49 or 50 that are permitted, but are just not financially viable to construct as is. So we've had a bunch of discussions over the last couple of years of like how to reconfigure to make it economically viable. And there definitely are some configurations that would work.
And this goes all around. It's near property there.
Yeah,
Along
it's,
the-
it's,
the
south of
field?
the high school, extending out to the wetlands before the lake. Up to Hamburg and then out to Mossman.
And it
On both
was,
sides of New York Avenue? Or Which side? of New
Yeah,
York
so
Avenue?
there are some lots that would face New York Avenue, like the garden lots, if you will, the
Right.
perimeter lots. There are some city-owned lots that would face New York Avenue that could be developed there. There's actually another little bit of development in, at least on the concept plan, where you could subdivide and have homes not just facing New York, but sort of have new streets, northeast of the cemetery portion between Hamburg and New York. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
There's a big enough contiguous area there that you could subdivide that and have a couple of through streets and whatnot. There are, like I said, the rest of it, we would not be the city's traditional grid pattern.
So he's doing this just because he wants to do the Pinelands approvals all at one shot. Right.
Well, so at this stage, he again wants to be able to transfer, he wants to make a non-refundable deposit. But if the Pinelands tells him you can't do anything on this tower site area, he wants to have somewhere to transition to. He has done residential development in the past, he has a comfort level based on all the conversations we had and things we've shared with him across the street. So he's like, look, I'll give you a non-refundable deposit, but this is sort of, you know, the backstop for me. And my money's not just gonna disappear, like I can roll into this and move forward with residential development over here that you already have planned anyway. So obviously there would be more additional separate Pinelands work with that. But the reason he wanted the whole north subdivision, the 220 plus or minus versus the 70 or 80, is that he wouldn't want to get into it, you know, start going through the 70 or 80, do all that work. And then he goes to the next phase and they're like, all right, well, you're starting from square one on the rest of it.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, to him, he's like, well, if I'm going to roll into that residential development, I want to get it all figured out at the same time because there's a big economy of scale for me to do that. So that was the reason for the request to expand to be the whole subdivision.
And what's his
Go on.
current,
What's that?
what's his current deadline on the agreement we have with him?
I think so.
April 30th.
Yeah, it was April 30th, and I mean, frankly, it's not really a fault of his own. He had a pre-app meeting with Pinelands at our suggestion, and that, you know, brought some information that no one was really aware of, unfortunately.
How
So-
about the development agreement, the agreement of sale to purchase those lots on the tower site expires April 30th,
Right.
so it needs an addendum.
You're asking us to extend that,
Yes,
and then the $62,000 deposit, if that gets rolled over, that will be contingent simply on if Pinelands doesn't give them approval.
that's right.
It couldn't be moved over for any other reason.
No other reason.
Right, only if the tower site is
That's
found
not-
to be undeveloped.
That's not reasonable.
And
But why-
The question is, do you want to give him the right of first refusal for all the blocks or just the front
Or just
portion?
the front section.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of new. So this,
Mhm.
this right of first refusal,
Mhm.
is he compensating us for that? Or is that
That's
part of?
62,000 non-refundable.
Right, so essentially, if he would give you that $62,000 as a non-refundable deposit. If the Pinelands come back and says, look, tower site is off the table, there's nothing you can do there, it's, you know, some endangered snake habitat. Then he would come back and say, okay, you know, I'd like to move forward with this development over here, you already have the $62,000, what can we work out? So there's nothing set in stone, there's no purchase price terms, there's no, you know, commitment to any development pattern, there's none of that, it's just somewhere for his money to roll in a different direction for him to be able to continue with the development.
So my concern is that we give him this right of first refusal, and he's saying he's gonna roll it.
Mhm.
If something happens with that plan, is this still non-refundable? Do we still receive that?
Yeah, there's no provisions for it to be returned that I'm aware of.
No.
I mean, that
And the
portion.
whole thing expires on October 31st.
And the snake study, is that a seasonal thing or is that?
He had to get a bunch of fence up by April 1st, so we were back there on Easter Sunday, helping his consultant put the fence up to make sure it was all up before the disc.
So he conducted it now, and so the report will be due when?
I believe it's like a 3-month study. So, if you go out there's a whole bunch of traps and there's all, fence and all kinds of stuff, so please don't touch those.
I'm not going out there.
Don't go out.
Transit track, how snakes moving.
Yeah, they're essentially trying to find out if there are any threatened or endangered species out there. There's one target snake that they're really looking for that I don't think they've ever found in South Ocean County, but they keep looking for it, so.
Good thing.
Brian, could you tell me what development he had done prior? He said he had other.
He's done a couple like small shopping centers. I don't know what the names are offhand. He had
Could you get
listed.
them?
Yeah,
please?
he had like a whole like portfolio.
Thank
So yeah, we can share everything with the residential developments, the commercial.
Like to look at them.
developments done.
Thank you.
My thought is, we let him go with all the lots, because if he's gonna get the Pineland approval on all those lots. And he winds up with the tower site, then that's one step we don't have to do. We have another developer that comes in and wants to do those lots. Now the Pineland approval is there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. this is-
But if we only do it on the front lots, then we're gonna have to still do it on the back lots if somebody wants to expand that way. So if he's willing to do it just on a right of refusal, why not let him do it? He's basically gonna be saving the city money in the way I'm looking at it. Am I?
So, well, to be clear, he's not gonna move forward with all of the Pinelands work across Moss Mill Road right now. He's gonna continue with his site and try to move that forward. He wants to move forward with the stuff across the street as well, but he's not planning on doing that quite yet. So he's seen how the tower site goes. If that goes poorly, then he'll shift his focus totally to across the street. If it goes well, he will make sure that that gets established and is moving and then shifts his attention across the street. But he would still at that time like to do the Pinelands and the redesign for all of it rather than a portion of it. And I agree with you 100%. That's a big value add to that section because there's only approval for another 50 lots. There's the potential for another 170 or so beyond that. So if somebody goes through the full design process and gets Pineland approvals to build something there, that's a huge value add.
Oh, yeah, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth.
And the right of first refusal is up. As of October 31st.
The agreement of sale, which consists of, portion of which consists of the right of first refusal will be up October 31st.
Right, and assuming he did move forward, was able to close on the tower site, everything pans out there, then the right of first refusal would dissolve essentially.
English, right?
Right, and then, you know, we could continue to negotiate with him there or move in a different direction. whatever he wants.
Any other questions? So what's everybody want to do?
We need a motion, either
Mhm.
for the whole site or just a portion of the site. I'll do a resolution.
right. I got it.
Resolution
That would be-
for the amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone want to make a motion just for the
Make the motion.
first half?
Oh.
Anybody like to second the first half? of the development. Any seconds? Going once, twice? All right, motion's been tabled. Anyone like the motion for the whole project?
I'll make a motion for the whole project.
Any second?
Second.
Roll call?
Antonisi,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse,
No, I'd like to see his work prior.
Timbers,
Yes.
Richie.
Yes.
Now we need a resolution to approve the first addendum to the agreement of sale.
May I have a motion for that?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, roll call actually, cash them, yeah.
Could you explain to me what this is again? What am I
The
voting?
addendum, the agreement of sale expires April 30th. That was for the lot at the tower site. And we negotiated $10,000 per, that was $310,000.
Okay, so it was a
That will
six.
expire unless we do an addendum to extend it.
All right, so roll call, please.
Antonisi,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Richie.
Yes, and a motion for, what was the third motion you needed?
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it?
Good, yeah.
Great,
Thank
anything
you.
else?
No, that's all.
Oh,
Thank you
great.
very much.
So Ryan, that was your report too, right?
Pretty much.
You got anything else?
Yeah, just a couple of real quick things. The brownfield thing that the mayor touched on, we met out there with a representative of DP. We identified 2 sites that they felt would qualify as brownfield redevelopment areas. Those offer the potential for significant funding, like 75% funding. For continued studies, for landfill closure, for the one out by the industrial park. For rehabilitation of areas like the Paul Castro site in front of the Acme site, Venerable Door, sort of that entire area stretching all the way to the 100 block of Columbia Avenue to include like Weisbeckers and the impacted properties there. They envision those as 2 potential separate brownfield development areas. So we are working through getting the application process nailed down. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll be able to come back and sort of outlay what the process looks like. You know, how much it's going to be to apply, and what the timeline would be to go resolutions.
Okay.
The Weisbecker demo, we spoke to the same representative of DP, and suggested that it's possible there are funding sources for that, so we are investigating them. We still have the ability to negotiate with people since we did it twice unsuccessfully. But if we can get it paid for rather than having to pay for it out of pocket, I think everybody will be on board for that. So we're trying to just flush that out first. The third terrorist drainage concerns, we solicited quotes from 3 contractors. We only got a response from 1. It is below what the quote threshold would be, but I'd like to contact the other 2 to see why they didn't provide, if they would still be interested potentially. It's always better to get more than 1 number for anything, so that's my recommendation there. I don't want to give the number out, because if the other 2 will quote, I don't want it to be out there in public.
Do we have a time frame on that possibility?
I mean, I was gonna call their 2 vendors tomorrow. The quotes were due last Friday, and I just didn't get a chance to call the other 2. I want to make sure first that they got it, because we emailed the quotes stations out to everybody. One of them is not particularly good with their email, so I just want to make sure it got it at least. If they don't want to quote it, they don't quote it, then it is what it is, but you know, if they didn't get it or they missed something, you know, I just want to make sure that it was you know, a reasonable procurement process that we did actually solicit quotes.
Thank you.
And then Liverpool Avenue, the 100 300 blocks, we are just wrapping up. Should be sending the PSC package for that. The plant specs engineering is a DOT funded project. Within the next couple days. Then whenever we get a response, we'll be able to go out to bid. So that's it.
Awesome. Any questions for Ryan? All right.
Just one
Sure.
thing. We are going to be applying for that energy grant. And that's due at the end of May, May 24th, I think. So we need estimates on and quotes about the existing incentives that are available. Can you put that together for us?
Like an accounting of the incentives
Well,
that
like
are available.
the EVs, what
Sure.
incentives are already available? 'Cause
Sure.
we,
What
we have
programs, how much can you get from?
right.
Yeah, yeah. We got most of that.
I think I sent you the file.
Yeah, I believe so.
Any other questions? All right, moving on to number 14, resolution 2024 state contract purchases. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Excuse me, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes,
Timbers?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. 15 is a resolution for a non-fair and open award for 2024-2025 HVAC maintenance contract. Any questions or comments?
Where is this for? Is this for City Hall?
Seniors.
Senior Center.
The senior?
No, it's for all the city buildings.
Oh,
It's our annual maintenance contract.
May I have a motion?
so moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
is this the same person we've been using?
Yes.
Yes,
Timbers?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. 16 is a resolution to authorize roadway solicitation for our fire department on May 17th of this year. Any questions or comments? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
17, same thing, but for August 23rd. Any questions? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, previously spoken about, introduced ordinance number 8 of 24. Amending chapter 198 title Parks and Recreation Areas, Article 1, title City Lake Park of the Code of the City of Egg Harbor. Any questions or comments regarding?
I do.
Sure.
I didn't quite understand what Angela had said. Did you take out B3? Was that taken out? The gazebo?
Yes, the gazebo fee was taken out, needs to be taken out because that was covered in the resolution we did in February.
Okay,
That's
that's,
35.
It was listed under 198 as
Yeah,
$25.
right.
It was taken out.
It's on the ordinance.
It's in the ordinance, so it has to be taken out. We did it by resolution, we increased it to $35.
Right.
right, okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, may I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second, all in favor, introduce? Advertised notice of introduction in the Hampton Gazette on the 1st for a hearing on the 9th of May. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
One of my weekends.
All right, at this time, we have a public hearing. For ordinance number 6 of this year. May I have a motion to open?
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, public hearing is open. Going once, twice. May I have a motion to close?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor of close the hearing? Huh? I got one. It's just, I'm dry right now. May I have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion.
Second, roll call, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
Yes,
Timbers?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Motion to advertise in the Gazette on the 1st.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? And public hearing for ordinance number 7, amending chapter 170. Land use and development, chapter 233. Stormwater control of the code of the city of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and state of New Jersey. And motion to open public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We're open for the public. Anyone? Go once, twice, motion to close.
Make a motion.
Second,
Second.
motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second, roll call, please.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
yes,
Timbers?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Antonisi?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Dash?
Yes.
Galloway?
Yes.
Heist?
Yes.
Hesse?
yes.
Timbers?
Yes.
Ritchie?
Yes. Mayor, the floor is yours for any final comments.
Well, I just have one thing that I forgot, and Ryan, Jody, and we were on maybe I mentioned at the last meeting, we were on a meeting with a whole host of people, including CME. And a whole host of powers that be from the state of New Jersey, talking about the bike lane, okay? So basically, there are questions, answers, whatever. But the main problem, besides some sort of red plant and a yellow one, I don't know. And a tree frog maybe. The main problem is the drainage, and they did develop a unique idea for draining, which was not digested very well by Pinelands, but it may get better. Ryan, I don't know if you want to expand on that.
It's just hard to meet all the rules simultaneously, so. We had a meeting where they sort of got to air their grievances a little bit in front of the DOT, the funding source, and Atlantic County, because it's their road and they're gonna take responsibilities. So, they're looking towards incorporating impervious paving into the project, because you need to have, I think we talked about this a little ago. The new storm rules that they adopted like a year and a half ago require you to treat, for nitrogen, just a level of 65%, which can't be accomplished with a single BMP, like a single basin or single device. So you essentially have to route your water through two of these things to comply. It effectively doubled the number of facilities you have to use for every project. The problem is for this one, you only have like 15-inch separation from 39-inch separation from groundwater. And you need 2 feet from the bottom of your facility. So they only have like 15 inches to work with, and they have to get 2 facilities to work by gravity in 15 inches. So the only way that they figured out they can do that is with impervious paving, which DOT doesn't want to pay for and the county doesn't want to maintain. And then another like more traditional place. So I think they really were just trying to illustrate to the county and the DOT that we don't really have any other option. We kind of have to use this in order to meet the Pinelands rules. So hopefully they were effective in making that case, but we'll see. We'll see what it is.
Is this for like that little creek that runs through across the avenue? Or is it like the whole strip?
They're going through wetlands and stuff everywhere. Down by the lake, they're in wetlands buffers. Down where that crossing is, they're in wetlands and wetlands buffers. There's a section of cedar swamp, which is like an extra protected wetland. That's on the north side of Philadelphia Avenue, right before the lake. So it's just, wow.
It's my world.
Anything else there?
The little bridge was the deal, you know.
Well, it's mainly the nitrogen. It's not the plants as much as the nitrogen that the issue.
There were some discrepancies on some of the studies they had done, and like they had 3 wetlands lines shown on a plan from 3 different times just delineated. There's a lot of just stuff that needed to be cleared up. But like they had submitted a threatened plant study, but like the Pinelands wasn't accepting a portion of it, and they didn't include some species that they were supposed to include apparently.
So there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, the major thrust from an economic standpoint was the impervious pavement discussion. They had come up with a concept of like grass and then sand and then stone underneath, which even Pinelands is like, all right, well, if you have grass here, how's the water going to get into the stone? So I didn't think it was the best plan to solve that.
So which agency should we complain about?
What's that?
Which agency should we complain about?
Well, Pinelands is by far the hardest to deal with. But,
Okay.
like I said, that new rule just makes it really, really hard. So,
The nitrogen. Thank you.
but yeah, I mean, I think they have a path forward if they can get the impervious pavement funded by DOT and approved by the county. See where it goes.
Great.
That's all I have. Senator could help us with that.
Yeah, I wish.
That's all, Mayor.
We need.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Heiss,
I have nothing.
Councilman Dash.
I'd like to commend our police department for their outstanding work, and I would like to personally thank our chief for her commitment to excellence.
Councilman Timbers.
I just like to reiterate what Dash said. I actually watched this from the house. Chief remembers. These guys are amazing. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Antonisi. Councilwoman Hessel.
I would again like to thank our police department and our chief for their outstanding work. And I also would like to say, I hope to see everyone out at this week on Saturday. Well, I'm sorry, Friday, tomorrow, out at the Arbor Day Festival, Peace Pilgrim Park, and then on May 4th, for the cleanup day. Let's make Egg Harbor City beautiful. Let's do our part. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th, yes, may the 4th be.
There you go.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Clark.
Yes.
There you go.
Again, thank you to our police department. You guys do an excellent job in protecting us and keeping our community safe. And then also another reminder for June 8th, it's going to be the Crusaders Community Carnival. So please come out. It's going to be from 4 to 7 at Crusaders Field, and we'll be having fall signups. And that's all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Galloway.
I just wanted to commend our police department for doing such a fabulous job out there on the streets. And also Hazel Mueller for doing all the legwork about the Arbor Day celebration. She did all the behind the scenes work. So thank you, Hazel, if you're listening.
That's everything.
That's it.
Thank you. All right, before I go to public comment, just like to thank Senator coming out to our meeting tonight. Always welcome to stop out, sir. It's a pleasure having you here for a full meeting. And Chief, it's always great to see firemen give cops a attaboy. So with that, I'll open up to the public for any comments. Anyone? Going once, going twice? All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you next one.